if I didn't have.
But they did it your first, right?
No, it's third. Third. Here she is. Her name's
literally a minute after it happened.
Let me compare for size purposes. That is my 19th.
And they made it.
So she is incredibly tiny. Yeah, she was 6 pounds and she was born. She was in Nikki for 2 days. She's back. Yeah, so.
Full term?
No, 36 and a half weeks. So technically premature, but right on that cusp. Yeah.
36, I think.
How much you? She's 6 pounds?
She was 6 pounds even. Yep.
Nice.
Home now with mom and.
Home now with mom. Mom's healthy. Baby's healthy. That's all I can ask for.
That's it.
Maybe 120 pounds dripping water. I mean, just a little guy.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That was a pretty happy Father's Day.
It was. It was. It was a good one. An unexpected. That's the little one.
She's got more hair than you.
She does. She does. She's got more hair than us combined, and I was showing them for comparison purposes. That's my 19-month-old.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, she was tiny. She was 6 pounds even, but she's home. Mom fine. Yeah. Yeah. So everything's going well.
Good for you. Well done. Is that it?
Yes, that's it. That's it. We talked because Jess is 3's it. Yep.
Good for you.
Jess has had health issues the last 2,
Sure.
and so
Struggles.
yeah, she's had struggles. She was gestationally diabetic with both for the last 2. And
Let's play the same.
yeah, exactly. Physically, she's good now. So we'll call it exactly. I'll take it. Overrun with girls, but I'll take it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
My niece has 2 boys, and she's happy with that.
Yeah, I know. We were happy with 2 as well, because when we had 1, we had some issues after that 1, and we never thought we'd have more than 1.
Yeah.
So 2 was good. 3's just icing on the cake.
That's right. Good
The store color.
Yeah. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What'd you get?
Another girl. 3 girls.
The council
Yeah.
absences, I believe that was voted down entire, right?
What was its number?
Okay.
Good question.
I think the number is wrong. I think
I see.
personnel and safety should be 54.
There you go. Good
I
enough.
didn't go back and
That's
look at that.
Jamie
What's
wanted
that?
me to let you know.
And then for comparison purposes, because she's tiny.
So he
that's my
tested
19.
positive today, so he's going to be.
So she's 6 pounds, but
He wanted me to specifically tell you.
That's what it was designed for.
It was.
Now we know the other
she's
situations.
actually really happy about it. It's the middle one that's
Not do it.
yeah, she's 19 months old. She's like, I'm the baby. Who's this? Take this back. So
Just
yeah,
simply state the fact.
it's been great. She's doing well.
Okay,
She's doing well.
I feel better now.
Just said, hey,
Wait a minute.
Isn't it?
So
Yeah, I noticed that thing too.
Well, I mean, it's going to be over. I don't think they're going to extend it this time.
No,
Oh,
so
no.
she's not working when we had our second because we did the math and said, you're going to work to pay for childcare, just stop it. She was a nursing assistant at a nursing home.
Yeah, it's just.
Mhm.
Is there an AC setting in there?
I hope so.
Right.
No, we're talking about executive session.
Because I don't think an open door is going to help on the day like this.
Right.
Where's tomorrow?
I propped it open.
Yeah, that's what we'll call it.
It's an air source.
Okay.
But yeah, I agree. And that was the consideration we had.
Is this locked?
Relatively comfortable wearing with Margaret and everything. So.
Kevin, do you have the key for this door?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. Probably.
You actually know which one
want to, but
I do. Took me a while to get them all.
That's impressive.
Easy.
Oh.
actually, I agree 100%. We have every support that we need. We have mental health research. I agree. Yeah. One of the, I mean, to your point is about, collective bargaining or everything. I don't have to look up the answer to ask when I walk down the hall. Or collective bargaining, people say, hey, what's going on here? So yeah, I agree.
It's just, I think that's novel.
bringing on a little less sleep than normal, but we'll get through it. No, I can't complain on that front either. She gives us a couple, 2.5 hour spurts over the course of the night. So her parents are close. Her parents live up in Faculty Falls, so they can come down. My dad in Columbus, wherever, away 6 years ago. So Dad came up this weekend, but if we need help, her in-law, my in-law, her parents are fantastic.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
I'm gonna have a little bit more to say than that.
Yeah.
Just what's there.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Well, hello there, Mr. Tripp.
How are you?
Been roasting yourself out there?
Pardon me?
You've been roasting yourself?
No. How was the event last night?
It's excellent.
Was it?
For an 89-year-old lady, or nearly 89, sharp as I die.
Good.
She's in your league. Entertaining, a real jokester. It's cool.
That's good. Glad to hear that.
Hot enough for you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, tomorrow's gonna be a bummer.
Throw in the humidity, huh?
Yeah, more humidity tomorrow.
Yeah.
Just come on quick or?
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty great.
Yeah.
Are you gonna make me look up? I'm gonna be Googling Indian words.
I don't think so.
Am I gonna know how to spell it?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
I'm ready for it. Congrats, Wayne.
Thank you.
There was supposedly some new guy coming tonight.
Number 3. Should have it now by now, but especially with all being girls. Yeah. Yeah, it's something. So 8 and 19.
I don't know if you're married.
She is married.
Yeah, that helps.
Come on, here we go. That's my wife.
I started laughing out loud like this.
Thank you. Thank you. Does it look like well?
Yeah, Mama looks like she's doing
She's doing much better, yeah. Are gonna want this one, so getting out to that, not having to take the insulin, you know, eat what she wants to.
Right.
It's helpful.
Didn't do a
Well, that's good. As long as everybody's healthy.
Yes, indeed.
I switched to a,
So I think we have
to a leave, and it's only 420. Boy, changed like that. I can sleep through the night now. I'm not having as much pain.
Okay, just want to make sure.
I couldn't save the little ones. I couldn't sleep, so I got bad so I could sleep.
I'm not gonna.
Yeah, got a little bit better, and I started paranoid.
Well, I'm doing this all everything.
Hey, that's all you could do.
I asked him, I said, what bring this on? He says, yeah, some people in their 30s can get it.
Yes.
How you doing, Kevin?
That's
Oh, I got something.
probably the
We're
right
not
thing.
talking.
I said, sure, maybe it's 30 years.
Remember we were talking?
Pushing with your foot, coming in with your right foot, keeping the foot. That's a good guess. It's probably just.
about grass and
Birthday cake.
Yeah, too many.
He said, my ball joint, my left hip is fine. But the problem is,
There we go. And we were talking about you said you were 8 out of my belly. Is that you? Or no?
I have maybe me actually, yeah. So
I saw that.
Well, you have therapy.
Is that you, like in that age group? Saber was like
sign on the
I was 76. Yeah, I know.
I think that's okay.
You just want to.
Sure, you think it's you?
I think so. It was like, any of you should get turned up.
Okay.
I had
Yeah, beautiful to your point. By the time you get.
right, you're probably right. You're right.
We got 2 foot tall grass.
Anyway, take care of
I think it's going to have to hire a specialist come in and do it. You gotta bail and hate it.
Well, I saw on the way here, by Apple, Congress, and they're cutting it today, as we speak, and,
Yeah, every city hours.
That's in the city room.
I don't know where they are anyway.
Thank you.
I know, thank you.
and then we're gonna have that.
Hey, Brad.
Did you catch pneumonia?
No,
I did not. I'm shouting.
Well, that's what happens.
Blowing in the breeze.
It's, and then everybody keeps getting married.
Well, you're a tough
And then
man.
once the kids are older, they can do that phase.
He just tested positive for it. 5 o'clock, yeah.
But I had lost touch with them. Like we never even, it's just the process.
Yeah, it helps.
of seeing
It helps bring.
I mean, he's
It's
good.
kind of help us. Well, you don't want to go this route because I can see
Not
where
even
you
gonna say,
can see.
not even gonna say why I didn't see you.
It'll all change, you know, like in 5 years, you'll be like, hey, what's up? You
Yes, you
know?
look a lot younger than ever.
It's either you're happy to see each other or you just avoid each
You
other.
go by the gallon of water each time.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it was that we didn't get along with it, you know, but that's how
I
it
think my
is.
noon mile is down.
Like,
Okay.
If they did,
interest.
Whatever part.
Nice.
No mental.
I'm freezing. He started laughing. Just like, my nipples are as high as can be. Because he knows our phone is big, you know. Thanks for doing all
The
that.
teens,
That
that,
was about a
that
50
Zoom.
70-year-old dresser.
And
Because
are they like,
By Kmart, he and I are gonna.
Yeah, so.
I knew.
Councilmember McCleaster, he's already in the chat here.
okay,
We might have.
Well, potentially.
Stephanie Werren.
Potentially,
Yes.
I suspect now because
She said if she can make it. And then also we may have director of finance.
I had to count
Gina,
there's an article in the paper last week.
thanks for telling me.
I figured that might be helpful.
Yep.
And Jamie can hear us.
I believe so. But he can hear a little bit everyone on our microphone.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a repeat.
Good.
Right. It's a good right. Because they're talking about, what was it, is it 14? Yeah.
So,
Anything that is agreed to.
down there, Marshall.
Oh, the short one?
Caveat.
I didn't even look at it. What they sound.
No, I just.
Well, yeah, I mean, the key is
How well it looks
sunset
like.
for each
I mean, it's.
step.
Oh,
You
it
got it.
looks really nice.
They went in there and just having timelines where they have to hit it or else whatever.
Yeah.
you agree to.
I mean, that's the biggest idea, 'cause if you get something. You're not gonna get there.
Right, I think the fire chief said it's like a minute to 36. Quote. Go around.
I go to the place for A, you know, my wife says, well, I don't like the lunch.
I don't think they started.
But you really
I mean, they have all their utilities.
They've been through there a few different times.
They are.
Because when I get the bunkers,
four walls. So if I get out and I drive around, I try to remember the roads that I used to know. Like that.
I like that.
I didn't realize how many roads I forgot the names. Where it's at.
Right.
The higher you up you go, you're like.
So they started doing.
They've got lots of.
Oh, yeah, yeah, they got, I think all but one.
Laura
I
called
don't know if they have
texted me whatever it was.
construction materials yet.
My daughter, I'm gonna call him. Because you gotta shake the bush. Just call him.
Leave that message. He can send it.
You get on the thing, and Bob and,
Oh, some of it is. I mean, they gotta say what it is.
What, for not showing up?
Yeah.
It's either I should or I could have one of my guys.
yeah, might as well be you.
And I pay attention. I try to pay attention to what's going on. If somebody asks me.
Sure.
If it's information I have an idea of and I respond to, I know I can share.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why we don't have to all try to figure out how to use a microphone. Fair enough.
That's all right from them.
Okay.
Part of it is a notification line that I sign off on. I know it's going to.
So now it's
Yeah, well, that's what
Yeah, and I did research for the, everybody that's anonymous on them, about 4th Street.
Ethanol draws moisture.
Oh, I don't know what
She sent over the whole part.
Which part of Ford?
Right next to the, preschool right now.
Okay.
What they're planning during, they purchased 2 houses, they tried to purchase the one lady, just the one that counts me, she's at a procedure, family, so. And we're going back around again to see if anybody else. Their intent is
Didn't
not
work.
to take it. I went over to Jim Hall. Here's our yearly situation. So it's a slow collection. Second house down they're landlocked. So in order to have parking spaces, it's just trading off.
Yeah.
I just live here on that.
I know the roundabout is on that agenda, but it's just yeah, I've been more. I enjoy it. I do. It's fun.
You get off. Everybody in their own mind is quick to find.
Yeah. Says, I guess she had cancer. Christine had cancer. She had breast cancer. Yeah.
Kevin, can we just make sure before we start that who's on and who's not?
Tom's
make
the
sure
dog
we
going
can
out
hear
when
him.
yours aren't there, but.
Yeah, I guess it's Jamie. He's
So I've
the
been putting on a leash regardless.
Jamie in there?
Jamie's in there.
Well, he's been doing it parks in the kitchen, parked on the inside. And the other
They
day,
take you
Jack put him out.
Jamie?
Jack put him barking, and he put him out. I saw him out there, I just got home. And heard him barking, put him out. I said, I don't think
We're
we
just
did it
making
more
sure
than
you
once,
can hear
but
us,
he realized
Jamie.
it was wrong.
No, for Sunday, see if Sunday's out.
Yeah.
And then I look to see if there's any movement.
We've got 5, so we're gonna start in about 1 minute.
And then now I gotta listen for fire trucks.
Yeah, I play bocce.
Well, he's,
They wanna have it.
if I keep him tied up with it, when I put him out, I take him out, one year, got away with it. I had him on a leash, and he jumped and he spilled my coffee, I didn't get it on, so I spilled my coffee, and he caught the leash, he was over there. So I, he doesn't seem to be, mine doesn't seem to be upset. And this is the rescue, so I don't know what else going on. We've had him on our get him out here.
Trust me, we got beers to go down playing boxing.
Yeah, we don't want to be in there on territory.
It's a good time.
Take care.
Somebody?
We ready?
Stephanie?
Okay,
Okay.
good. All right. You guys ready? Patrick, Finn?
Yeah.
I now call to order the special council meeting of June 21st, 2022. The time is 7 p.m. Opening prayer, Mayor Walter.
Yes, would everyone please stand? As we say a prayer tonight, think of it also in your own faith and belief. But I share with you tonight, dear Lord, thank you for the goodness and mercy that we receive every day. We thank you that we have found a calling to serve our community. We are here today to discuss topics that will move this community forward. Come and take center stage with us in this meeting. Give us new ideas to be able to stand head and shoulders above our competitors. Grant us the wisdom to make this meeting a productive one. Remove any distractions that will make this meeting unproductive. We start with you and we end with you. Thank you, Lord, for this prayer. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Kevin, would you please call the roll?
Member Orr? Here. Member Metheny?
Here.
Member Revoldt? Here. Member Stroia?
Here.
Member Werren?
Go ahead, just call her again.
Did you call my name?
Yes.
Sorry, I'm here.
All right. Member Wyrick and Member McCleaster.
Here.
Motion to excuse Member Wyrick.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, at this time, we will begin the recognition of the public. Each individual will be granted 5 minutes to speak. The time and rules will be displayed on the screen. When is your turn to speak, please come to the podium and begin by stating your name and address for the record. As this is a special meeting, comments will be limited to the items on the agenda today.
Larry Tripp, 1127 East Maple, North Canton, Ohio. Last week I spoke on the DORA subject, and some of my concerns were answered during and after this meeting. While the in-house discussion was beneficial, it only addressed those aspects of DORA which Council saw as beneficial to its views. Ordinance 55-2020 was written for the purpose, and I quote, whereas the city seeks to use the DORA legislation in a portion of the downtown business district to enhance commerce, improve the economic climate, create employment opportunities, and build an identity within the district. It is clear none of these intents have or are happening. As was discussed last week, recent events such as a 720 traveling crafts show along with the summer series sponsored by the library could be held without the DORA changes being suggested tonight. To use a library and a church parking lot as components for a successful DORA concept once again makes the suggestion to me and others Ordinance 55-2020 is not working as intended. Councilman Orr, since you introduced Ordinance 45-2022, perhaps you can explain why you believe the components as written on the 2020 ordinance are being met. At the same time, please explain how $52,000 was generated as additional commercial activity in 2021 and why the original ordinance was violated by city personnel in its first event. The North Canton social network has been running rapid this week with Councilman Stroia and McCleaster joining the action. One of the hot topics being the situation concerning the Kmart property as reported by the repository personnel in a recent newspaper article. Actually, the article reported nothing new with the exception of perhaps $20 million new building being constructed with around $350,000 property tax being created. We as citizens have heard and read about council activities, promises, but no results. This is what we do know. City loses $426,000 grant to renovate Blitzer Park, thus a loss of identity to the downtown district. City sees the dream of Kmart property being an office-type complex completely destroyed because you say of COVID, but now in spite of COVID, Hudson enjoys this dream. We've heard of the 300 new jobs at Meijer's and now a $20 million building, but as of this date, nothing but confusion. Yet just a mile from my home, Marathon announces a plan, demolishes their old facility and rebuilds a new one in a matter of 6 months, corner of Market and Easton within Plain Township. 6 months. Recently, we had 5 professionals address City Council. One, in my opinion, somewhat intimidated and humiliated. The other 3 somewhat ignored, with the attorney representing At.I not even receiving a thank you for speaking. So, is this the reason city representatives continue to outnumber citizens at council meetings? In closing, let me tell you a story that may pertain to city government or even its citizens. This is a story of 4 people named everybody, somebody, anybody, and nobody. This was an important job to be done. Everybody was sure somebody would do it. Anybody could have done it, but nobody did it. Somebody got angry about this because it was everybody's job. Everybody thought anybody could do it, but nobody realized everybody wouldn't do it. It ended up everybody blamed somebody when nobody did what anybody could have done. Thank you. I told her she was going to start.
I heard that. I haven't heard that story in forever.
Anyone else wanting to address council today?
Yeah. Ken McAdams. I live at 1101 Woodrow Street Northwest. And I got a couple of quick questions before I make a comment. One, with this SWPA stuff that's going on, is there going to be anything sent to the residents about what that entails? what it is, what it's for? I'm asking, yes or no. Is there going to be something in writing sent to the residents describing it?
I'm not sure I understand the question.
Just the water protection thing.
SWPPP?
Oh, that's, yeah, source water protection?
Yeah.
I don't know that we're sending out notices to, because it's probably too large of an area to.
Well, it's targeted businesses.
Oh, okay.
Is it targeting businesses or is it targeting residents too? Because my address is on there.
Well, everybody's address is in there, but the focus is on businesses that may be storing or transporting hazardous chemicals.
Okay.
In sufficient volume that if they leak, could cause a potential hazard to our drinking water.
Okay, so that shouldn't have nothing to do with what I'm, my fertilizing and all that other stuff and weed killing and all that to maintain my property. Okay, that's fine. Quick question number 2. Is this proposed roundabout at Charlotte and Portage going to be brought up at any of these council meetings before it happens?
Yes.
Okay. My statement regarding this mess up here that is supposed to be Meijer's. You guys got 2 gas stations that are directly affected, and you want to put one in right across the street from them, just like the At.Me thing. What's going to happen to them 2 little guys? And I'm talking about the BP right there, I'm talking about the Speedway. They're going to get undercut, they're going to have to close up, and they're going to have more empty buildings sitting up there. You got the Marathon down here on Main Street. You got the Little Sunoco down there on Main Street. You got the Sheets over there on the corner. Why is it that we have to have a special ordinance to put another damn gas station sitting up there on Main Street when you already have laws in place or ordinances that don't permit it to begin with? Why? It's ridiculous. You got the extra truck traffic that's going to be going in and out of there. You got the extra car traffic that's going to be going in and out of there. I don't think the infrastructure for the roads is going to be up to par to take care of that kind of volume again. Now here we go, another waste of money with this building up there. Did Meijer buy it? Did Meijer buy the property from the city? Did they? It's underway. How long has it been underway? And it's already being tore down.
Derogatory thing here? Or what?
No, it's not derogatory. I'm asking a question where the money's going.
Listen, so when you address council recognition of the public, it's not a question and answer. So you can ask the questions and we'll answer afterwards.
That's
But
fine.
it's
I want answers to the question. I don't see the point in another gas station, another grocery store going in to try and drive the people that are already there and create more empty buildings. That's all I got to say.
Thank you.
Can I get your house number again, please?
1101 Woodrow Street.
Thank you.
Anyone else wanting to speak tonight?
Chuck Osborne, 307 Fairview Street, Southeast, North Canton, Ohio. The very last words spoken before last week's council meeting was adjourned was that there would not be a council meeting the following week, but that council would double up and have 2 meetings on June 27th, 2022. So I ask, why is there a council meeting being held tonight? Has some emergency befallen the city? Is there legislation that is absolutely, positively must be enacted into law and signed immediately by the mayor for the health and welfare of the citizens of North Canton? Let me read what the city charter says about special meetings, and I quote, "Special meetings of council may be called as provided by its rules, regulations, bylaws, or by resolution or by ordinance. In the absence of any such provision, special meetings may be called by a vote of council," which we did not have last week, "taken at any regular or special meeting thereof, or shall be called by the clerk of council upon the written request of the mayor or the president of council, or by any 3 members of council. notice in writing of each special meeting called at the request of the mayor, president of council, or by 3 members of council, shall state the date, time, subject, or subjects to be considered, and no other subject or subjects shall be considered thereat. That's section 2.04 of the charter. The operative words from the charter are subject or subjects to be considered. Mayor Wilder's request for a special council meeting fails to list each and every subject to be taken up, but instead simply lists ordinance numbers 47-2022 through 52-2022 charter amendments, without listing the subject of each of those 6 proposed amendments. Further, the meeting request states the purpose of the meeting is to discuss. If council is to simply discuss those ordinances, shouldn't this have been a request for a committee meeting? Clearly, the purpose of the meeting request should begin with the words, to consider passage. The special meeting request is incomplete and misleading for citizens. In addition to failing to list the subjects with proper description to comply with the city charter, the request was apparently so rushed and not proofed as it has spelling errors. In addition, the special council meeting follows a continuing trend to misuse special council meetings by treating them as regular council meetings to clear all legislation moving through the steps for passage by accelerating readings that normally would be read at regular scheduled council meetings. What has happened to the tried and true, dependable legislative cycle of committee meetings on the 1st and 3rd Monday of each month and council meetings on the 2nd and 4th Monday? Citizens could set their clock by that routine. They could understand it and depend on it. A week ago, the entire 7 members of council were fully in agreement that there was no need for a meeting this week. If Mayor Wilder has pressing business for council, why was this need not communicated before council's announcement that there would be no meeting? And why accelerate the reading and passage of legislation that citizens may be had planned on addressing at council meetings that was announced for June 27, 2022? The only reason for public meetings is for the public, so as to allow citizens to be partners in their government. Yet I see this go slipping away more and more in North Canton City government. To switch to the charter amendments, as I spoke in detailed manner last week, most of the proposed charter amendments are not beneficial to citizens. If you want to eliminate needless budget deadlines, fine and dandy. If you want to save on advertising expense, fine and dandy. But if you change to 4-year terms, as I explained last week, currently with a 2-year residency requirement, new residents in North Canton could possibly have to live here for 4 years before they could ever run for council. And by increasing the terms to 4 years, you could stretch that to 6 years. Take it in baby steps. Going to a 4-year term for mayor would be fine. If you're so concerned about being left with no talent left on council, then alternate the 2-year terms. The wards 1 cycle and the at-large another cycle. That solves your problem. And lastly, I am irritated beyond staying calm. Where is my elected council member? We are milking these virtual attendance designed for COVID, and we all know it. Mrs. Werren, I hope you're listening. I want you to report where you are physically at this time. Now I know, and I've been advised, Mr. McCleaster unfortunately has come down with COVID. We know Mr. Revoldt was physically not even in the state a week ago when he failed to show up and he attended virtually. Thank goodness that's going to be over. But Mrs. Werren, I want here and now to hear where you are physically right now. This is wrong. You are milking something that was designed to keep government operating during the height of COVID. We've got vaccines. I've had 4. I want to hear from you, Mrs. Werren. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wanting to address council tonight?
Yeah. With the President's permission, I'd like to talk briefly about Meijer, and I'm going to answer some of your questions, sir.
Thank you.
First of all, I want to say that the Meijer project, and that's what I'm going to call it, is a complicated transaction with multiple components to it. As you probably know, we own approximately 30 acres. Meijer will likely purchase a portion of it. But I think what's important is that the community understand that the Meijer project is a pro-school, pro-fire EMS, pro-police project. Meijer is prepared to invest $20 million in a new store. That $20 million equates to $350,000 per year in new revenue. That's found dollars for the school system alone. The rep missed that in its story. To put that into some perspective, that $350,000 per year in real estate taxes will cover 40% of the cost of one of the new schools under construction today. 40%. That's 40% that the taxpayers don't have to eat.
Oh,
that's terrific.
Yeah.
All right. In addition, fire and EMS will see approximately $22,000 new revenue generated by real estate tax. And the police, the payroll from that Meijer will generate well over $100,000 in new income tax revenue. And our police depend upon income tax, not property tax, income tax. It's income tax that exclusively pays for that for the police department and subsidizes fire EMS.
Okay.
Right? I should note that Meijer is also a pro-consumer project because consumers will now have a choice in a competitive marketplace. There will be competition for grocery. There will be competition for gas. I can tell you that from experience this last weekend that Costco was offering gas at about 45 cents a gallon less than the prevailing rate for its members. 45 cents a gallon.
That's better than John A.
Yeah. My point is, and I don't know where Meijer will be. Okay? But the point is this, is if you're driving to Akron to work and you've got to fill up a couple times a week, and you can save 30, 40 cents on a fill up, that's not insignificant. And as we look at
40 cents a gallon.
40 cents a gallon, right. As we look at inflation, running at 8% or more, and if we slide into a fairly deep recession, the ability for our residents to save
is non-existent.
Yeah, we're hoping that we can diminish some of the impact of those inflationary trends. So when we look at this project, again, I think it's important to understand that the school system is absolutely critical to the city's future.
I'll agree.
We have made a commitment to the schools to avoid, whenever and wherever possible, tax abatements. There is no property tax abatement currently at the new Diebold facility. There's none associated with Meijer. So those dollars are going to go right to the school. And again, I underscore this, $350,000 a year.
Who calculated these figures you're citing?
Okay, guys, let's review the rules of council.
Well, you're talking to him.
I know, that's why.
Yeah, I understand, but, I mean, let's make it fair.
Okay, so
Thank
from
you.
now on, listen, there's no discussion back and forth.
I understand.
Okay,
But
that's for everybody.
Let's be fair.
No more warnings.
Okay.
This is it, thank you.
So the point is that this is really a huge opportunity for the community. Rarely do we have projects of this scope. We're not in the business again of picking winners and losers. Our purpose is to give consumers a choice. And if we can create an environment where there's potential savings, we think that's a huge benefit. I think as you've heard tonight, and I can't speak for anybody else on council, but this is these type of projects come once in a generation. If you have a place for them and can put the tools together. The last big project we had was Washington Square. That was the last big one. We haven't had it. We've got Diebold through the efforts of Mayor Wilder, Mr. Diorio. It's a $10 million project. And we've got this one. So this project's worth fighting for. And I think it's in the community's interest to understand that if you don't have redevelopment, Hoover, Kmart, you end up with a desolate area. Half the Kmarts in Northeast Ohio are unused. They're sitting empty. I think council, city administration, to its credit, assembled a plan to bring that property back online and produce value. We're very fortunate that we're where we are. We're slowly making headway. As you know, the building's down. Sergeant Clean has indicated its desire for a presence there. And one of the things that we do know is that not only will the site in question increase in value, the properties around it will too. And we don't know what those opportunities will look like, but I think we'll be ready to support them when the time occurs. I hope that answers your question. You can't debate this as a House of
No,
Commons.
I'm not gonna debate it. That answers a lot of questions. I would like to talk to you more about it afterward.
But, you know, again, this is a big deal. And we have people in this community who would like very much to frustrate this. And I was looking for a couple of comments that I I came across one you're probably not familiar with a guy named H.L. Mencken, who was a literary critic and writer for back in the 1920s and 30s. And he used to criticize he made a critique of the Puritans who said that they had a haunting fear that someone somewhere may be happy. Well, we've got people in town, frankly, who have a haunting fear that someone, somehow, some way, might be successful. We might actually pull this off. Mencken had a second quote, and this goes to the importance that I attach to this, and I don't speak for anybody around this table. But let me read it to you. It's actually it's on a political site that I read. He says that every normal man must be tempted at times to spit upon his hands, hoist the black flag, and begin slitting throats. He's being figurative. And so on.
I would hope so.
Yeah, get me in big trouble. But the point is, this is a project worth fighting for. I will spit on my hands, I will hoist the black flag. This is a big deal. And I want to assure you that there are a whole lot of people who are working very hard to make this happen for this community, knowing at the end of the day, it's pro-school, it's pro-police, it's pro-fire EMS, and it's pro-community.
I'll go with that.
And nobody can ever say to us, you let that site rot and you didn't do a damn thing.
I'll go
I
with
will
that.
not amend my comment. We did it and are doing it.
I still have a couple questions after
Fair
the
enough.
meeting, if I can ask them.
Fair enough. I'm going to tell you right now, I may not be able to answer.
Okay.
Because we're not in a position to answer the questions. But I can tell you this right now. There's probably going to be a time where there's going to be some cold crow served up on styrofoam plates. And there will be some people who eat it.
The reservations that I have had.
Let's talk about.
Okay, let's talk about it later, that's fine.
All right, 2 points I want to add to Daryl's points of income. One is the sale of the property and the acreage that's going to come in. And the second is water revenue. So there's 2 other points on top of all that other stuff that Daryl said that is going to be working for us. So it is a big deal. This project is huge, and it's to stop it for competition purposes. That's not on the table. It's not on the table when it's that detrimental to not only our schools but the rest of the city. It's just, that's not on the table. Mayor, did you want to? I think you wanted to
Continue
mention
on.
something. Sure.
Please continue on. Let's go to old business.
All right. Moving on to old business. Can I have a motion and a second to read by title only ordinance 24-2022?
Revolt moves.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Is that everybody? Is that?
I'm not sure Stephanie.
Okay. Stephanie, did you vote?
I did, yes.
Okay. All right. Motion carries. Kevin?
An ordinance amending Chapter 1136 Main Street Districts Regulations of the Codified Ordinances of the City of North Canton, specifically accessory uses as listed in Section 1136.05 in order to add thereto gasoline station as an accessory use requiring a conditional use permit in the Main Street North Gateway District.
There.
I'm not going to add anything.
Okay.
Motion to adopt. Third reading.
Second that motion.
All in favor? Aye.
Second.
Aye.
Everybody? Did we get everybody? Okay. Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to 6B, can I have a motion and a second to read by title only ordinance 31-2022?
Revoldt moves.
Werren second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. Opposed? Motion carries. Kevin?
An ordinance amending the zoning map of the city of North Canton to reclassify 2,850 parcels in the city of North Canton in accordance with the amendment procedure set forth in chapter 1182 of the Planning and Zoning Code, in order to add to the zoning classification thereof source water protections, zoning overlay districts, in order to protect the drinking water resources of the city of North Canton, Ohio.
All right, Jamie, you're up.
All right, I'm going to do my best here. I've got a little bit of a lag. So basically, this is the third week. This is the map that has come back from the Planning Commission, and really, I don't know if I have anything additional to add. Again, with but I'm going to pass to Patrick to see if he has anything to add from the administration.
Nothing to add.
All right, with that, I would move that we adopt.
Revoldt seconds.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Is that ever, you guys can hear that better than me. Up over there, I can't hear this one.
I'm not sure.
Stephanie?
I agree.
Okay. Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on, can I have a motion and a second to read by title only ordinance 45-2022?
I'll make that motion.
Revoldt seconds.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Kevin?
An ordinance amending ordinance 55-2020, establishing a designated outdoor refreshment area, DORA, in the city of North Canton in order to expand the hours of operation and area thereof.
Okay, this is the second reading. We want to include Monday and Tuesday with this and the area. St. Paul's approached us and wanted their parking lot included in that DORA as an area. So that's about all I have to add. So I'll make a motion we pass this.
Revoldt second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. And moving on to ordinance, can I have a motion and a second to read by title only ordinance 48-2022?
About 47.
What's that?
I will move we read by title only second reading ordinance 47-22.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have it on. Yeah.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Kevin?
An ordinance to submit to the electors of the city of North Canton a charter amendment for the purpose of altering the terms of office of elected officials of the city of North Canton and thereby establish 4-year alternating terms beginning on January 1st.
Again, this is the second reading of this. It's to elect, have the mayor go for 4 years and the council guard for 4 years. So I'll make a motion, we move on with this.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Opposed?
I never heard anything on the record.
Chuck, no. Get out. Every meeting, it's beyond the point of disrespect. Every time you have to say something. Please leave.
She's making a mockery of this whole session. And you let our conversation go on and on and on, and you
Okay,
hit
you
me
didn't learn
first
from
time.
Mr. President, Do you want him back in the building at all tonight?
No, no, I don't. Thank
I'd
you.
like to get my camera.
And you take it down.
Go ahead.
Would you take it down for me?
Yeah.
So we're on to 48. Can I have a motion and a second to read by title only ordinance 48-2022?
Revoldt moves.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
Second. Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Kevin?
An ordinance to submit to the electors of the city of North Canton a charter amendment for the purpose of simplifying the notice requirements imposed on the clerk of council for special meetings of city council.
Well, this will make the clerk's job a lot easier. They won't have to hand deliver. I think there's 3 ways of doing it. Okay, it's hanging a notice on the bulletin board at City Hall. I believe emailing all of us is the other one, or calling us. I believe is the third. So this is the second reading, so I'll make a motion. We move on with this.
Motion to adopt. Revoldt will second that motion to adopt.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on, can I have a motion and a second to read by title only ordinance 50-2022, 49-2022?
Revoldt will move.
Stroia seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Kevin?
An ordinance to submit to the electors of the city of North Canton a charter amendment for the purpose of clarifying the legislative process of the city of North Canton and establishing distinct differences between ordinances and resolutions.
Well, this again, it's in its second reading. It's not, a lot of people don't know the difference between ordinances and resolutions. This will clarify it. So I make a motion that we move on with this.
Revoldt will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on, can I have a motion and a second to read by title only ordinance 50-2022?
I'll make that motion.
Revoldt will second.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Kevin?
An ordinance to submit to the electors of the city of North Canton a charter amendment for the purpose of eliminating the requirement that legislation be published in a newspaper.
Again, this is the second reading. The newspaper is very expensive to advertise in, and with all the different things we can do through emails and stuff of that nature, posting it on websites. I make a motion we move on with this.
Revoldt will second.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on, can I have a motion and a second to read by title only 51-2022?
Revoldt moves.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Kevin?
An ordinance to submit to the electors of the city of North Canton a charter amendment for the purpose of eliminating the budget deadlines of May 15th for revenues and June 15th for expenses.
All right, again, the second reading, we heard from Gina. The deadline will be, I think, December 30th or 31st. So again, I make a move to move on with this.
And this has the clarifying language that, about the deadline that they sought.
December
So
31st.
that language was assured. We've made a motion. I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Opposed? Motion carries. Can I have a motion and a second to read by title only ordinance 52-2022?
Revoldt moves.
Stroia seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we've read the directions. She is to hold
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Kevin?
An ordinance to submit to the electors of the city of North Canton a charter amendment for the purpose of permitting council to call charter review commissions more frequently than every 10 years.
Currently, it's every 10 years on, I think, on the 7th. So, especially with new things coming up and stuff, it's a great idea. So I'll make a motion that we continue with this.
Revolt will second.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, moving on to, I have a motion and a second to read by title only 53-2022.
Revolt moves.
Second?
All in favor? Aye.
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 Stephanie, did you vote?
I'm sorry, I did. Sorry, you didn't.
Okay, thanks. Opposed?
Yes.
Motion carries. Kevin?
An ordinance amending chapter 155 personnel regulations of the codified ordinances of the city of North Canton, specifically section 155.09, leave of absence provisions. Subsection C, vacation regulations to amend the vacation accrual method for full-time exempt personnel.
Once again, special thanks to administration for working out this program. This is the accrual of vacations by hours worked instead of just annually. So they accrue hours on a bi-weekly basis when they get paid. It also allows for employees to take vacation time in quarter-hour increments, which is a huge benefit for the employees. And then the final part has to do with carryover vacation, and I believe they max out at 2 times their annual amount. And anything that exceeds that is then paid out quarterly to the employees. So they maintain a maximum amount of 2 times their normal annual amount of vacation. Is that right, Mr. Diorio?
That's correct, sir.
Okay, thank you. Any questions, thoughts, comments, concerns? None seen? I make a motion that we adopt for the second reading ordinance 5322.
Revolt will second.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. At this time, I have a motion and a second to enter into an executive session for the purpose of collective bargaining as permitted under ORC 121-22G4.
Revolt moves.
Second.
All in favor? Oh, no. Kevin, would you call the roll, please?
Member Orr?
Aye.
Member Metheny?
Yes.
Member Revoldt?
Yes.
Member Stroia?
Yes.
Member Werren?
Yes.
And Member McCleaster?
Okay. Motion carries.
I think it told me it was breaking up. I'm a yes.
Okay, we got you. For the record, will the Directors of Administration, Law, and Finance, Mayor Wilder, and the Deputy Director of Administration join council? At this time, we are entering into executive session and are off the record.
What happened? What do you lose?
Old age.
Did you get the ending?
I loved it.
I don't know how to do this.
Chuck's outside if you want to
Is
go
he
ask
still
him.
outside?
If you want to go ask him.
Huh?
He said he would explain to you how to shut it off.
Well, I think I'll just carry it out to him. Where's he at?
He's right out on the patio.
I'm not gonna mess with it. I'll be back to get the rest of this stuff.
Okay, I'll let you go. Well, you didn't leave the meeting, the camera run?
No, yeah, it's been running, but they're an executive now.
Well, you could have just left it running.
Well, then they wouldn't have let you back in,
Well, I was gonna let you,
because I'm going home.
oh, you are?
Yeah.
Can you stay? Oh, you did shut it off.
Oh, did I? I didn't touch anything, to be honest. I didn't want to mess with it, because I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, it's been shut off. Did they say what they're going in an executive session?
Oh, something collective bargaining.
Yeah, I seen that.
Well, did they
in
go through the
agenda.
rest of the agenda?
Yeah, they've been through everything.
Okay.
Yeah, everything other than, they adjourned